Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. And it is, of course, time for the midweek fix, which normally comes to you on a Wednesday, but we had to move stuff around this week. I think I must have told Dan about 15 times. Let me turn that off quick. Different times, didn't I? I kept coming back to you. 8, Wednesday, 6, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, it was all over, but we got there in the end. There is only 4 of us, but 3 different spots, because I don't know where JT is. He's supposed to be coming. He said he was having a phone call, something important, no doubt. Must be to not show up on time for this show anyway. So let's check in and see how everyone is. Before we do, as is always the case, please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in. We're going to be talking about the winners and losers of the season so far. I've got a number of questions that I'll pose to the guests. No one's allowed to pick the same player. We'll all take it in different terms, so everyone gets to go first, etc., so that it's pretty fair. There'll be a number of different topics: best player, most disappointing, best game, etc. Just, I guess, a roundup of the season so far, and we will obviously get people's general thoughts on that as well, and yours in the chat as well. But let me welcome everyone. Dan, LUFC, Noxon, return, mate. You were on a couple of weeks ago. How's things, brother?
Yeah, very good, thank you. All good. Just enjoying kind of grinding, doing the YouTube stuff. Hate this time of year with the weather, but just staying inside and grinding, I suppose. Yeah. Trying to get that content out and pushing some stuff for the World Cup. Excited for that. Excited to kind of have a bit of a break from Leeds, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Last time we spoke, you were abroad, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I was in Cyprus. I was working out there, so back now, unfortunately. But you've got to get back to reality, haven't you, at some point?
Yeah, you have. And the Leeds lobby lads, let's start with Lee. How are you doing, mate? You doing all right?
Yeah, busy. Working quite a lot, which is one of those things we've all got to do it. And Dan's been decorating his bedroom, and then he's had a tooth fart, so he had a face like this.
Wow, really?
We've not been putting so much content out. To be fair, we'll start picking it up again. But sometimes you just not the time for it from a life, have you?
No, of course. And like I say, folks, January is around the corner. That is peak time for content. Believe me, I think you all know that anyway. It's peak time. Dan, you've been decorating your bedroom. Is that the marching on together behind you there? I can see.
That were mum. That were mum.
That were mum, was it?
Mum from working, sorry, it was buzzing. I was like, when are we getting our bedroom done, darling?
We've got Leeds United bedding and that.
Oh, seriously, we've got peacock wallpaper, and she don't even know.
Love it.
Do you know what? One of the funniest things actually on this show, right in the early stages, when it was me, Lewis, and Max and JT. JT had Leeds United bedding, and he got absolutely hammered in the comments, and then we never seen it again. I think maybe he was a little bit too old for Leeds United bedding, but I guess.
Bedding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. I still don't know where he is. I'm not happy. Right, so let's just start with thoughts on the season so far before we get down to the minutiae detail. Let's just say where we're at. I'm sort of I guess, content. I don't know if you could say that. I think I've come to the realization that Leeds United season will play out like this. I think it will go up and down. I think we will go through periods of games where we don't win. We'll then go and win a couple, and it'll, bounce us back up the table. I see a lot of similarities with Ralph Hasenhüttl's time at Southampton, in that, they'll win a lot of games and then they'll lose a load. It's not going to be enjoyable when we're losing, of course, but I'm sort of buckling myself in and getting prepared for the second half of the season after the World Cup. I'm not going to lie and sit here, during that 8-game streak that we lost, I wanted Jesse to be gone. I'm not going to sit here and say any different, but he saved his job with them results against Liverpool and Bournemouth, and I thought we performed pretty decent against Spurs. It's a tough place to go. It's a top side, and we put 3 past them. And on another day, maybe we get something. So, you know, Jesse does have my backing now, you know, moving on, because we've now managed to get to a January window that I think will see him bring in some more players. And what we have seen so far, one of the successes of the season, you could argue, has been the new signings. I don't think any of them, apart from Rasmus in the first 4 or 5 games, was poor, but he's really turned a corner. And I don't think you could look at any of them new signings and say they've been poor. Whereas if you compare it with Bielsa's tenure, and people say I just have rose-tinted glasses, but the signings under Bielsa, Firpo, Rodrigo under Bielsa, you know, they weren't great, and Jesse's have been. You know, that's something I will say. I think his signings have all been good. So that's something. So content, I don't think we'll go down. I just think we have to buckle up, and it's just going to be up and down, and yeah, we'll see. Dan, Dan, I don't know how to do this. Let's go Knox. I'll say Knox.
Yeah. That's the one.
Thoughts on the season so far, mate?
Turbulent. It's definitely a roller coaster being a Leeds fan, and I almost feel a bit sorry for Jesse in the fact that he just doesn't have a simple day. I feel like he must be aging about a year and a week at the moment. But yeah, it's definitely turbulent. I think with Leeds, I think you referred to Hasenhüttl there with Southampton, and I think it's the style, the system, the style. It is almost, you know, we thrive on creating chaos. You know, we create chaos in the box, we create chaos in moments, and you know, we supposedly thrive in those times. But I think with that, you are going to get caught out, you are going to get beat pretty convincingly. And I think, you know, we've seen that quite a lot. We'll have 2 games where we're on fire, the press works, and then, you know, other games where maybe if a player's out, or, you know, for example, when Tyler Adams is out, and I'm sure we'll get into someone like him a little bit later, but I think the pieces kind of fall apart a little bit. I think what the team has shown, though, especially over the last few games, is resilience. And I think we saw that at the end of last season with the relegation scrap. The last day of the season obviously being huge for us and such a kind of relieving moment. I think we are seeing that. You know, there was a period where Jesse Marsch was under serious threat, and I don't think many Leeds fans were kind of supporting him in that time. But to kind of do what we did and kind of, you know, really dig deep, you know, rely on people like Somerville and almost have that inspired form for a couple of games, and then even the Spurs game showed real character. And I do think this team does have character in abundance, and I think that is something that we can definitely cling on to kind of get us out of this dogfight in a way.
Yeah, for sure. Some great points made, and there's been some great points made in the chat as well, which I have starred, and I will get to them as well. But I just want to see what the guests have saying, you know, and I say guests, they're panelists now on this show, regulars on this show, the Midweek Fix. So guests is the wrong word. Dan at Leeds Lobby, thoughts on the season so far, mate?
I think if Jack Harrison or Rodrigo was personified in a team, then I think it would be that, because I think we've blown hot and cold completely. We've sort of started the season, and there was a real feel good sort of feeling around the club, and a lot of positive sort of vibes. Obviously, Jack Harrison was the top assister, Rodrigo was the top scorer, Aronson was the top for XG created, Adams was the top for tackles or something. And then we hit obviously we hit like the Fulham game, the Southampton game. The Southampton game was like before that, but we get what I mean. We had some tough games that should have been easy, and then we sort of feel like we're just picking the form up again. But we've blown hot and cold. I think the best players have been the Marsch players, and I just think that we just need to stay on form now, and that's the problem with the World Cup break. Is it going to be hard to actually get back on form?
Yeah, no, and listen, give me 1 sec. This dog, man, honestly, he's putting me off. He's chewing his toy. I'm going to have to put him in for a room. There you go, go in there. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I was listening. Right. You know, just like that, he's doing me head in. Lee, thoughts? Do you agree with your son?
I do. I think it's quite interesting, because if we track it, we had that brilliant run of games early on that gave like the board this false sense of security, and then that window just snapped shut, and we just thought, where are we now? And then now the rubber hits the road, and we see that the team just wasn't enough. It ain't enough for this league. We've dropped points because we haven't scored, and when we should have scored. I mean, we've had missed opportunities where it were probably in one or two cases actually easier to score than miss, and we still managed to miss. I mean, Patrick Bamford almost seems to be doing acrobatics to stop the ball going over the line in some cases. We've been woeful at the back on occasions. We've had no luck. I think we've had all our bad luck already come. We've had some horrendous refereeing decisions. I mean, there must be some kind of weird witchcraft or Freemasonry going on at the top of football for these VAR decisions to be taking place. When we were able to actually watch the commentary, I think it was was it the Arsenal game, where we were actually able to see what the referee was looking at on VAR, and we were able to see the fact that Patrick Bamford went up to the player. The players looked round and stopped right in front of him, and Patrick Bamford run into him, and whoever's flipped that up for the VAR has actually chosen the moment where Patrick Bamford looks like he's actually pushed him over rather than ran into him. It's not shown the momentum going into that contact. And you can see that whoever's running that VAR, honestly, they want stringing up, because they've made the decision to disallow that goal by what they've shown in that clip. So we've had a little bit of that going on. And then there's times where we've played breathtakingly well. So we've lost points because of attacking errors. We've lost points because of defensive errors. We've lost points because of VAR. But then also there's managerial decisions where we played a game. I think it was an early game. Was it a game against was it Southampton, where it was really early? It was really, really warm. We're in the middle of summer because the game's been played early. And everybody could see that Marsh should have done what he said in the press conference beforehand and brought people on. So game management was naive. So we've got areas where we can see and we can improve and we can tighten up. We've been good at free kicks up until somebody's took credit for the fact that we've been training on them.
Yeah.
And then we were crap after. Say, this is why we're good, and then we're crap. Honestly, you make yourself look like a right dickhead. And, you know what I mean? So, free kicks. I'm going to say it now. We expect this to be a team that's good at free kicks, and then we can't beat the man for the next 25, 30 free kicks that we take. It's just everything that's frustrating about being a football fan all rolled into a ball and kicked it back at net. Only it weren't Patrick Bamford kicking it, because if he'd have kicked it, he'd have probably missed. That's what the season's like so far, but it's been up and down. I mean, we've had, when we watched was it the Wolves game last season where right at the end of the season, I think I screamed myself hoarse at the end of that game when they got a man sent off and we ended up winning that game. And we've had 2 or 3 games like that. Tottenham was just how many games have we had where we should have had something out of it? Yeah, it's frightening. But we could have been 10 points better off, easy.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. It's all about it's all about fine margins, isn't it? Definitely. Let's get to some comments, because I've seen some really, really good, well thought out ones come in. So let me go to those. What I am going to do is just quickly address this, though. So Thomas Brennan says we're better than last year by quite some distance. So I'm just going to share a little graphic there, because I like to back my boy. But if we look at last season, we were 15th with 16 points. We're actually worse off. However, and also last season we had a bigger gap. We had a bigger gap between us and the relegation places. This season, it's not such a bigger gap. So, that has to be taken into context. So those that are saying it's miles better, etc.
We'd had a different this time last season. I feel like at this point in the season, it's not really the season isn't so far as it's summed up by how many points when it's summed up by what results we've had against what teams. And this time last season, we had a win against Watford, a win against Norwich, draw against Burnley. This season we've had a win against Liverpool, win against Chelsea, win against Wolves, draw against Villa, Everton, Southampton. So we've actually had better results.
How can you remember that?
I know.
How can you remember that?
Give me
you don't give everybody Joe.
Mate, it's youthful exuberance. It's youthful exuberance. I used to have a memory like that.
We've had give me a game from last season, and I remember the home and away score and who scored. I've got like that.
Fact check it out.
It's really man. But there is something in that, Dan, because like Andy said, look, against the played corresponding fixtures this season, we are 5 points better off than they were last season. And that's the wild thing, isn't it? It's the fact that under Bielsa, we beat all the teams in the relegation area, but struggled against the top sides. Under Jesse, we can take on the top sides, but struggle against those that are in and around us. So, yeah, we need someone in between. Let's bring in the main man now. He was there a second ago. He's now disappeared.
Does the fact that we beat Chelsea and Liverpool and get really, really great results in those sort of games make up for the fact that we nearly get beat? We beat by teams at the bottom. Make up for it.
Do you not get worried though? Do you not get worried though that those teams like that might dry up at some point?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
JT,
how are you?
It's class in it beating.
I'm all right. I apologise.
Don't worry about it, bro. I know you're a busy guy.
No. But you are right. The young lad does know his stuff, Jamie Dodger, and it's actually the young lads who know their stuff. So I'm going to come in all guns blazing here. I want to say you to my above here and you directly just to my left need to eat some humble pie, brother. Because what were me and my guy saying about Rodrigo last week? Huh? We know our stuff, huh? And you shot us down. You said, young bucks know nothing about football, huh? And what did he do? Smacked them. Bang, 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 bang.
If I speak,
we still lost. Back.
I literally can't speak on that, mate. Fair play to you. I have to hold my hands up.
Yeah. What was it you said? It's like, why have you got that shit on your back? Is something like that? Something like that? I don't know, mate.
I know, right?
Business.
Someone said in the comments, actually, that he's halfway to beating Bamford's best season in the Prem. So
he's on 21 goals, I think.
He's on track to beat Haaland.
He's on track to get 21 goals, so he's on track to beat Bamford's record in 2021.
Yeah, but the best part is he's played a lot less minutes than Bamford did that year. He hasn't actually featured in a lot of the games. The only player in the Premier League with a better goals to minute ratio than Rodrigo is Erling Haaland.
That annoys me because everyone's talking about Miguel Almiron and how he's the player of the season, redemption story of the season. But Rodrigo's got one more goal than him in less games. He's scored one more goal than Almiron in less games.
Yeah, but
I think there's a difference, though.
There's definitely a difference. Yeah.
There is, yeah.
If you look at Rodrigo in the games, he just disappears most of the time.
Yeah,
it just pops out of there.
Well, I forgot that you've been watching Miguel Almiron for 90 minutes every single game as well to come to that conclusion, mate. You know what I mean? You're watching a bit of match of the day and you're trying to tell me, he's been banging on form all the time, mate.
I'd take Almiron every day of the week in this Leeds team.
Yeah, I mean, I'd put him in there, yeah. But, I mean, all you could argue is that Rodrigo is performing better than what Almiron was before. He was more
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So the difference between the two looks huge compared to Rodrigo.
It's like if you compare, like, Joe's football knowledge with my football knowledge, I look like absolute Albert Einstein, whereas if you compare it with someone else.
Almiron, a little bit.
He's got a look of Almiron, hasn't
he? Yeah.
Why? Because I'm a midget. Is that why? That's uncalled for, mate. Uncalled for slander.
We were talking the camera down. Where Rodrigo was getting tap-ins, and the two goals at the weekend were far from tap-ins. Yeah. We were wrong on everything.
That volley.
Mark, this will forever be a regular thing as well. When Somerville wins the Ballon d'Or,
mate,
I will always be reminded that I said he's crap.
Yeah, it wasn't just you, actually. You've owned up to it. But Max and Lewis both jumped on it as well. Yeah. So, you know what? I think they need to come out.
I even said on our channel that I think
I said he will be like Raheem Sterling. But
that was well, there you go. Raheem Sterling's the best player in the world. So.
No.
That was after his
say that.
When we were watching the under-21, I said he plays like Raheem Sterling, but he's a little bit lightweight at the top level. He's proved me wrong.
No, you're right. He was, though. When he first came into the side, he was a bit like he was getting shrugged off the ball a little bit. and his final composureness in there. To be honest, the one thing that I really like about recording this stuff as well is that I can go back and prove that I've said. So his first ever game was against Fulham in the Cup, and I was live streaming that, and I did say then that he's the best youngster we have in the club. I need to go back and find that clip because, you know, when he wins the Ballon d'Or in a couple of years, that's going to be playing everywhere.
Let's do this then now. Let's do this then now, JT. You said I admit when I am wrong, right? That's one thing. I've said certain things. And you also said in the summer that we needed a centre-back, of which I shot you down then as well. And you were right on that. But like D. Turley says, and I think everyone in agreement on this panel would say that you were wrong about Firpo. Will you go back and admit that you were wrong about Senior Firpo?
What I will admit is that he hasn't been amazing in the games that he has played. But I do have to concede he hasn't played enough. He hasn't played enough to fill in that position. I did say I would sign another left back because I don't think he'll be fit enough. However, I did expect him to produce a little bit more going forward. I concede that. I'm not conceding as much as Leeds, but I'm still conceding on that one.
But surely that's part how fit a player is part of how we grade how good and how successful they are at the club.
Yeah.
We had that
part of it.
He's woeful when he's playing and he's not there when he's not. So
okay, well, sorry, did you watch Blackpool? Yeah, that's what.
Maybe Blackpool will buy him. He'll still be on bench.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Blackpool will come in for him.
I love that. JT, we've all just had a few comments on the season so far, mate. So it's only right I give your chance to do that. What are your thoughts, mate? 14 games in, 15th in the table. What are your thoughts?
I think that Spurs game was pivotal. Now I'm looking at it and I'm not happy. You know, with the Spurs game, different story. Now we're on 15 points. We're actually less points than we were last season. It started off really well. And against the big teams, I've seen a lot, man. I've seen a lot to give me confidence. But it's our defense, first of all, it's shakier than a man with arthritis walking a tightrope. And second of all, man, I just don't get what our vision is against these lesser sides, what our game plan is, what our tactic is, and what needs to change. Because we've spoken week in, week out on this to any other people, any man that watches Leeds, or woman that watches Leeds, about what needs to change. And we've tried everything. We've tried changing the formation a little bit. We've even gone through it at the back at times. We've tried changing the personnel at times, putting youngsters in, and that seems to have reinvigorated things a little bit. But we just still don't have any kind of clear ethos or pattern of play to break these lesser teams down. And the amount of times I've seen us just get turned over and look half-assed in what we do against these other teams, it's kind of left me deflated. But I thought, you know what? We're bringing some form into it. We've beaten Liverpool. If we go and beat Spurs, if we hadn't have got tomped out the cup as well, that really annoyed me, man. I wanted the cup run. So now you're looking at a position where we're very near the drop again. We're down on 15 points and we're already out of the cup, which we all thought at the beginning of the year, because we've got a somewhat deeper squad, we might have a decent cup run. You know, football's about fun at the end of the day. Everyone wants to be like, yeah, let's survive. Let's have this boring relegation battle. But we're fans. We want to see excitement. We want to see us in these semi-finals, finals competing. And now looking at it, I'm a bit deflated. But January's coming up. It's an unexpected time. And I do like what Marsh is building. I think he is tactically the best manager in the league. I think he is an absolute wizard, a man beyond his time, a man before his time, should I say. And I do believe that in the second half of the season, we will make a title charge up to European places.
That's an interesting one thing. You're raising as an interesting question there. If Marsh is so tactically astute, then why is he picking Strout before Firpo? If Firpo's that good.
I don't know, mate. Maybe something's going on behind the scenes. We don't know. We're not privy to every conversation or everything that's going on behind there. You know, maybe he's jealous of his good looks.
This cup would have been ideal as well because Wolves drew Gillingham in the next round. Gillingham, so that's who we'd have had.
Telling me about it,
right? Yeah. Chelsea are out of the cup. Spurs are out of the cup. The next round is Man City versus Liverpool, so one of them are going to be out of the cup. Villa's out. Arsenal's out. West Ham's out. There's lots of good clubs around, lots of top clubs around. If we'd have gone through, we could have had a good run in this cup. You don't know what's
And he decides to play a bunch of frauds against Wolves, who were the most piss-poor team I've ever seen, man. Honestly, a plastic butter knife could carve them open there that week. And yet we showed no quality because he's playing a bunch of youngsters who haven't played in the senior game ever, man. You have no experience in there.
I've thought that before, with the... I genuinely think he wants the cup win in the FA Cup. Because why do you think, rather than going for Ben Foster or going for Jean Ruddy, he went for Joe Robles? Because he won the FA Cup.
We've been robbed with that one, mate. Robbed of money.
Because he won the
just because he's won the FA Cup.
Listen. Why he went for Joe Robles? He played every game in the FA Cup when Wigan won the FA Cup.
Yeah, but that's not why he's gone for it.
Yeah, but
I think
no, it's because he's the cheapest option, and Ben Foster didn't want to go to anyone. Ben Foster even openly said Newcastle offered him a lot of money, and he turned it down because he wanted to be a podcaster.
He didn't want to leave London as well, apparently, did he? Apparently, he wanted to stay in London.
Yeah, he wanted to
I like
stay
his
in the
thinking,
YouTube
Dan,
revenue.
but I don't think that's why they've signed him.
I don't think that's solely why. I think that will have played a factor in why they went for him and didn't go for some other keepers like John Ruddy, who were Aaron Randolph.
Nah, John,
I mean,
John
come on, we're not talking great keepers here. It's not like they were listening to Thibaut Courtois, Keylor Navas, John Ruddy.
Aaron Randolph, Navas.
Joe Robles will be on about £1,000 a week, man. That's why. Yeah. Anyway, right. What was I going to say? Noxon, did you have something to say, mate? Before JT just carried on his...
No, all good. All good.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I'm joking, man. I'm joking.
I'll be quiet.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna, before we get into best player and all that sort of stuff so far, I said that I think we'll be all right over the course of the season. Robert Purnell says Leeds can still go down, and mathematically, of course, they can. There's a long way to go.
Mathematically, City could still go down.
I know, mathematically, maybe we could win the league. I don't know. Maybe not, actually. I don't know. Well, yeah, we could. If City lost. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway. But I just want to get your guys' gauge now, 14 games in, where you think. I think this is where we'll actually finish, 14th. Noxon, thoughts? Are we going to go down? Are we in danger?
No, we're definitely in danger. I don't think. I think there's a lot of teams out of it. What I'm concerned about is that Leeds can be good, but there's so many other teams. Like the teams that have come up as well this year are actually serious. A lot more serious than last year, and that concerns me a little bit because I do think that the competition this year is rife, and I think it's going to be a really high point score to kind of stay up. I think we'll be fine. I think a bit like you, 14th to 16th is what I predicted at the start, and I don't kind of see anything different from that. 15th, 16th. I think if the season stopped now, I'd bite your hand off. And I think that's the kind of situation we're in.
Yeah, no. I agree. Like, if you could just say now you stay up for another season, you say end it now. Yeah.
Bite it off straight away.
Definitely. Lee Chris thinks we'll be bottom 3 by January the 1st. There is some tough games coming up after the World Cup, to be fair. I think we've got City, we've got Newcastle away. There's going to be some tough games. Hopefully that break that Newcastle have had will actually scupper their form a little bit, maybe. Lee, thoughts on whether or not we're in? I guess we are in danger right now, but based on what you've seen, do you think we'll be all right come game 38?
It depends who we sign. It really does depend on who we sign. Yeah. I think the thing about it is, the thing is, we have absolutely mullered Chelsea. We have battered Arsenal and not got the result we perhaps should have got. And we've played against Liverpool and stood toe to toe with Liverpool. Granted, Liverpool ain't played particularly well, but in times this season we've been outrageously good, and then at times we've been really bad. So the question is, we know where our issues are defensively. I don't think that the issues defensively are all down to the tactics. I think the issues are also down to the personnel. And if we address that, I think we'll finish in top half. I think we've got to finish top half. We can stop leaking goals, and we can score a few more than we're already scoring. We're already got into the goals now. We've got some players coming through. If we can shore up that defence, sign a really good quality centre half, sign a really good quality left back, and sign a striker. I think we'll have what it takes, because I think that the American signings, the new signings that we've got, Tyler Adams is game changing for us. I think we've got enough and get some results. And we show we can get results against big scalps. Can we now get some results against ones we're expected to be, who sit back? We've got to have a plan B. And if we get a plan B and we're able to turn some of those results, losses into draws, get the odd win, I think we'll move up the table. It's a tight bunch.
It is. I think there's only a couple of points that separate us from like Liverpool in 9th or something. It's a bit of a mad one. JT, thoughts on relegation, bro? You said after Spurs, you think we're in trouble.
Relegation. You got to be joking me, right? Oh, that's the funniest thing I've heard you say all day. Jesus Christ, mate! Wow.
So no, then
this club here, relegated, Championship, Leeds. You must be having a bubble, mate. We're going to be going up the table, that's for sure, man. That's for sure. We can't play any worse than we have in half the games this season. Not a snowball's chance in hell we get relegated. If we get relegated, I will dye my hair pink, strip, run down the street, douse myself in chili pepper. All right, it's not happening.
Wow.
Okay. Cool. What about yourself?
I would dye my hair pink here. I'll let you do it.
Yeah, man.
Sorry.
That's all right.
What's going on? Nice. The false positivity is mental in this chat. Be
Are
another
you there,
17th
Dan?
if we're
Can
not.
you hear us, Dan?
Yeah.
Oh, yes!
I asked you a question.
Oh, I didn't. I was trying to find the clip of this guy saying he's going to get into 6th place to 7th place. I think.
Speaking facts.
I think we're safe, but I don't. That doesn't mean to say that I don't think we're going to be battling for the rest of the season. If we don't go and get a goal scorer, a left back, that means we don't need a centre back and a left back. Pick one. Pick a centre back, and you can keep Strike at left back for a while. You've got Firpo as depth. You can. You've then got a centre back, and you've got. You don't need to add Strike at centre back, but that does mean that we need to sign a left-footed centre back, which is quite rare, quite hard to find a good left-footed centre back. I think, or we sign a left back, which is probably more ideal. You go for Guerrero, you go for Josh Simon from Stoke, you go for a left back, and then you can move Strike into the middle with Koch. You've got a partnership that we already know works from pre-season and from the end of last season. We know that Strike and Koch at the back works, so we're not risking as much. And we've got a left back who we can adapt into the system, who's any left back could be an upgrade on Firpo. So I think I'd rather.
I liked what you were saying before that one, to be honest, mate.
Are
Are you sure Firpo in left back is going to work in the second half of the season, though?
Stuart, no, Firpo's done, man.
No, not Firpo. Are you sure Strike at left back works in the second half of the season?
And we go with
You forget
It's
that.
very rare. It's very rare. Lightning strikes twice, though.
Which 3 clubs are we better than?
Southampton,
Guaranteed.
Wolves, Forest. Southampton, Wolves, Forest.
Do you not think Forest have turned the corner?
No, Forest ain't turned it. We turned the corner last season.
Bournemouth. We're better than Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think we're better than Bournemouth as well.
Yeah,
but it all depends.
Or should you say a Forest turned a new leaf?
Which of the 2 clubs?
Wolves will get the new manager bounce after the World Cup with Lopetegui.
So which other 2 clubs are we definitely better than?
Southampton.
Southampton. We've said Southampton.
Okay, Forest.
Man United.
Are we definitely better than?
I'd say Forest, Bournemouth, and Southampton.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can be better than them, as we say.
Everton as well, and Wolves if they don't get the right striker. Like regardless of how good the manager is, they need someone to score goals, and they aren't. So
Wait, is that it? Villa are poor. We're better than them.
No.
Man United average. Haven't seen anything good from them.
Got Emery in.
Still aren't gonna struggle, I don't think.
Yeah, right.
To be fair, West Ham as well, or Leicester. I haven't seen much from them that proves that they're.
Leicester have climbed up the table, bro. They've had.
They've climbed up to 12th place. They're 2 points ahead of us, you know.
Yeah,
and we've got a game in hand.
Danny Ward's got the most clean sheets in the bloody Premier League now after being a Championship goalkeeper.
He watched the game.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. Right, let's do winners and losers then. We're going to start with best player of the season so far. Now, what I've decided to do, rather than have us all say the same players, we're going to take it in turns, right? We're going to put that
Like it.
forward, and then we'll just switch whoever goes first on the next one, so that it, we hear different opinions, and it means you have to think for another player if so and so picks your player. And because I am the host, if you like, I'm going to go first.
Absolutely.
Just on this one. And the first one we're going to go with is, of course, best player. So winner, if you like. And for me, yeah, we can do a poll as well, Jody, with the ones that we've selected, and you can see as we can only put 4 in a poll though, so Leeds Lobby might have to come together to do theirs. But best player, I'm going to go with Tyler Adams. That's going to be my pick. Reasons for it, I think. Listen, I get a lot right, as JT likes to tell me, but I did get the Tyler Adams one right. There was a lot of this.
He's going to say Furpo. He can't say Furpo. Please no.
Just turn the mute on quickly.
But no, Tyler Adams has been absolutely pivotal to everything we've done. I think he's been absolutely fantastic. The performances that he's put in from the first game, really, for me, has been exceptional. And not only that, when Christensen came in and we seen the fist pumping and all that, and we thought, yeah, he's Leeds, he gets it. I'd argue Tyler Adams is that actually, without knowing him before properly and seeing him on the football pitch. He is that. He's the one that's running over and going over to Andy Robertson, who's no mug, by the way, and saying, get away from Brendan. He snapped into Bentancur against Spurs and went, get the... Oh, you know what I mean? After a couple of minutes, and I thought, yeah, I love this kid. I think he's exceptional, and I hope he has a Mint World Cup as well. So for me, my pick's Tyler Adams. And we'll come to you next, Noxon. So Tyler Adams is done. Who's been your best player?
I'm going to steal his American mate, Brendan. I think for me, Tyler Adams is unbelievable. I think Brendan is the key to kind of everything we do. I think if you shut down him, you shut down this team. I think his work rate is just outrageous. The best running stats in Europe last season, the way that he presses relentlessly. Sometimes you see him and he's just pressing by himself, which is just unbelievable sometimes. And I think that was personified in I know it was the Joe Gomez mistake. The pressure and the work rate is obviously phenomenal. The chances created. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you've got to be in there. You've got to buy a ticket to win the raffle. And he's just such a. He's just a player that you love to have in your team. He's going to be selfless. He's going to create chances, and I think we're starting to see the fruits of that with Somerville and Rodrigo now, where they're starting to build a connection, starting to get a bit of consistency, and the amount of chances he creates in a game is unbelievable. The way he carries the ball, and people can't get the ball off him when he's running in motion. It's like he's gliding sometimes. So yeah, Medford Messi for me, definitely.
Yeah, no, I don't think many will disagree either with that one. Although I think Adams gets it, but there we go. Let's go to the Leeds lobby. You can both give us one and then select like your joint one if you like.
I think I'm going to go with Struijk. He's quite an easy option to go with. He's played out of position and he's been phenomenal. He's got a goal and an assist, I think, from left back from his not preferred position. He puts in a shift every game. He's not had a bad game this season. Aronson has been mint, but he's had moments where he's held onto the ball for too long. Adams got sent off in the last game. You can argue about it, but Struijk has made no foot wrong this season at all. I've not seen him. He should have had a goal against Southampton, but Rodrigo nicked it. But it's the instincts of a striker. But I think Struijk's been absolutely brilliant. To say he's played left back where he shouldn't even be playing, and it's left-footed centre halves, man. It's so hard to find a good left-footed centre half.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, mate. The only thing I will say, he shouldn't have cut his hair. Dan, your pick, mate.
Dan?
You mean Lee?
Lee, sorry, my bad. Sorry, my apologies. Sorry.
Again,
too many Dans, mate. I'm confused.
Yeah, I mean, with the failure to be able to pick Tyler Adams, who are just again, it's just like our David Batty. It's Roy Keane of the Leeds United, David Batty sort of player, Vinnie Jones sort of player. I think you've got to pick for me Meslier. He has just, I mean, he's one-on-ones. I mean, it's just, you back him, wouldn't you, in a one-on-one? You back him. It's just that good. And we're talking about players like Salah. We're talking about players that are really, really accomplished in front of him. And a one-on-one, it comes out and he's composed and he gets down where he needs to get down. I think this guy's good. I hope he stays at Leeds for many years. But it's stunning, absolutely stunning. I mean, the daft thing is, I watched Robles in that cup game, and he positioned himself very well. He looks like an half-right keeper and all. So we actually have got backup now. But Meslier, for me, it's going to take some dislodging at least for many years if he's still at the club.
If he's still at the club, that's the big one, isn't it? The Lloris coming to the end of his tenure, and De Gea, dare I say De Gea as well. Like,
no, not Man U. He's likely to go Spurs, I think.
I think so as well, mate. But like I say, you've just got to look at these aging keepers and think, it's a little bit worrying, but we'll see. JT, best player?
Well, it's a guy who I've taken a lot of slack for over the years. I think when he's featured off the left this year, I think he has been sensational or awestruck to watch. When I saw him playing in La Liga, there was question marks as to whether he could transfer it over to the English game. But when he has, and when he's put on that Leeds United shirt this year, I think he's been nothing short of sensational, and he's proved the doubters wrong. And it is going to be Rodrigo Moreno. You thought I was going for someone else, but it's Rodrigo Moreno. I mean, you can't look past him, mate. 10 goal contributions in 13 Premier League games. A goal contribution every 89.3 minutes. You can't ask for anything more from your centre forward, can you?
Yeah.
JT.
Right.
Left foot, right foot. I mean, I had to shoehorn in. Huh?
Started when Jesse Marsh came because he was scoring at the back end of the season last season.
Yeah, he was. He really was. Yeah, he really has.
Have we seen a different Rodrigo since we've seen the different system?
We are. It's the confidence. It's the
he
confidence
plays up front there,
mate. He's a confidence player. I know that he doesn't really play off the left. I had to shoehorn it in because you thought Firpo players off the left. But when he's played up front this year, I think his positional awareness is getting a lot better. I think when he was playing under Bielsa, like you say, he was coming too deep at times. He was coming too deep to pick up the ball almost at CDM, and he was having to do too much roles. Now that he's played under Marsh, he's been asked to stay forward, stay occupying that space. I think his link-up play is underrated. Sometimes he can fall asleep a bit and he can hoof it into Rosette. He's
a good assist to
pinging 40-yard passes the wrong way to Bukayo Saka. But the way he's recovered from there, he had an injury in the middle of the season that curtailed his form. He was heavily criticised by everyone, heavily lambasted. And the way he's rebuilt it, man, it's sensational, man. His finishing ability with that left foot is... The volleys, he can finish from everywhere. He can finish in the air. Beautiful header against Chelsea. He can poach it in the box, and he can finish from outside the box with aplomb. He drives us forward very well, and he has been... I can't look past him. I did want to say Somerville as well, but because he didn't really feature in the first half of the season, I can't throw him in yet. I think he might be like player of the season, but Rodrigo for me so far.
We shall see. Leeds Lobby, who are you putting in the poll? Struijk or Mez?
Struijk.
Cool. Right. Okay. I'm going to take that poll out. Folks, you vote on the poll that's now in the chat. And then obviously when we come to the next poll, we'll see who the winner of that one is. I just want to quickly address something because obviously me and Lee were talking about Meslier potentially moving on. And I do see a lot of fans get annoyed at this. But what you have to remember, it's not us as fans lacking ambition. Leeds United are not cash money rich, right? So even if we said, no, we're not going to sell Meslier, we'll keep hold of him, how are we then going to improve the squad? If we don't sell Calvin and Rafinha in the summer, guess what? We don't bring no new players in. So that's what we have to do as a football club, unfortunately, unless you bring in, wads and wads of cash. That's what happens at clubs that are at the level that we are, So I think... of course, we'd all love to keep on to our best players, but sometimes you have to have a little bit of realism and say, okay, we might have to take that hit so we can use that cash to buy two players for that one player, like we did with Rafinha and Calvin. As you can see, we brought in four, didn't we? Was it Adams, Rocker, Christensen and Sinisterra, And then Robles on top of that, etc. So it's just a fact of life. Okay, right. Most disappointing then, and we'll go the other way now.
Well,
So
hang on a second. I'm not liking the votes on this poll, right? I don't know what frauds are voting for this, but why is Rodrigo third, mate? Come on, get the votes up, boys. Come on, wake yourselves up. Also, get yourself to 100 likes, please. Come on, brothers.
Yes,
You know you can do it.
that.
You know you want to
Yeah.
do it. Smash it.
Smash it, yeah. Right, JT, you go first this time, and we're going to go with most disappointing winners and losers. So the biggest loser.
I don't like to do this.
I know. I was a bit dubious about doing it, but I thought, no, we need to be real.
All right, I think, disappointing. I think you have to look at someone for me that was heavily looked at to be a shining light. I don't think you can look at someone like Llorente, who has really been disappointing, who you'd expect to be disappointing in the season. If you're talking about since the season started, Harrison a little bit, maybe Aronson, his form's dropped off, but I can't look any further just because of the pure hype before he signed from Rasmus Christensen. Rasmus Christensen, I know he's become a bit more defensively solid as late, but going forward simply has not been good enough. I don't think he's been any better than Luke Ayling has playing in that right back role. Really, I think he's had a few solid games where he's kept wingers like Zaha more quiet than a church mouse for me. But really, the true reality is he's not quite yet what we expected him to be. He still has time to grow into that. Yeah, of course he does. But going forward, we need a lot more from the fullback side of it. So Rasmus Christensen for me.
Fair, mate. I think you make a sound argument. I am surprised by it, but that's fine. I think you backed it up with your points, and that's cool. So Rasmus is yours. Let's go to the Leeds lobby lads then. Who are your two picks?
You go first.
Yeah, Diego Llorente. I mean, he's on the pitch, and we've got two cocks at the back. We've got Robin Koch and Diego Llorente. He's completely useless.
Koch's been good this season.
Yeah.
Koch's been all right.
No, I'm not on about. Yeah, Koch is cold.
Well, let's calm down, all right? This is a PG-rated show, boys.
When is he going to learn that the goalkeeper's left-footed? How can we possibly be in a situation where we're playing all around the back to create the space to do our press further up the field, which is how we play? But the guy is incapable of playing a pass to our goalkeeper onto his left foot so they can kick the ball up the pitch. Plays him onto his right foot. He's got to take a touch. So it just invites pressure. Dan did a meme. What was it? I don't know if you can see that. Back to the but it's just he's one player at this moment in time that I think if we've got any other option at the club shouldn't be on the field. Firpo, there's an argument to say that he could play if we're moving Strauch into the middle because again it gives us something better.
I like that argument.
And if you were talking about Rodrigo, you could say you could make way for another player. But the only player I think that I would be happy not to see ever play for Leeds United again would be Diego Llorente.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's strong. It's very strong. We had someone in the chat say statistically we concede less than when Llorente plays one bad game against Brentford. I don't agree with that, Joe. I mean, statistics, they are amazing, but sometimes the eye test tells you different. And when you watch Llorente, he's a bit of a cat. But
it was the back end of last season as well. There's a reason why when we did the polls at the beginning of the season, he was voted flop of the season.
Yes, but I'll be right, and it may be statistically we can see less goals when Diego Llorente is playing. It's just that when Diego Llorente is playing and we can see goals, it's always his fault.
That's so true. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you like. Yeah, that's a great.
No, I like the guy. To be fair, I do like it, and I've criticised him a lot. It's like he's on sleeping pills half the time. To be honest, I mean, his lapses of concentration is beyond me. But he's a lovely guy, man, and I want to see him do well.
My disappointment of the season is Patrick Bamford.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you can put Llorente as a disappointment because everyone knew, even for this season, everyone knew at the end of last season it was poor.
Even Stevie Wonder could see that one.
It was poor anyway. Bamford, however, he's come back this season and everyone's thinking it's like the second coming. He's gonna come back, he's gonna bring us bags of goals. He's gonna finish those chances that we keep creating, but we've got no one to create them. And then he's come back and he's done the opposite. We're creating chances. It's going over the line and he's clearing it off the line for us. He's allergic to scoring goals. And I think that's...
And allergic to using his right foot as well, isn't he?
And who did you say, JT?
I said Rasmus.
I feel like it's more of a disappointment than Rasmus, because Rasmus has had good games. Rasmus has shown us that there's a player in there, and Llorente has just always been crap since Bielsa went, because he's not a marked guy. But Bamford,
No, I like what you're thinking. You've gone the same route as me of someone that was expected to do a lot better. No, I think I didn't even think of Bamford. That's a good shout, actually.
Bamford's been absolutely just awful for us, I think.
I agree.
It's really sad. I was going to go for Bamford, actually, and I love him. It's just like you say, I'm so disappointed with the drop.
Who doesn't, to be fair? You know what? I've seen a lot of people in the chat as well saying, like, I hate Rasmus, you hate Bamford, whatever. We're criticizing someone's footballing ability here. Nobody wants to see another man fail or do poorly. You know, we're here to talk about football.
It's almost
Frank Lampard.
Belgium, and he's seen the Catalans. He started to go with his hair long. I should try and go long. And he just, what are you doing? Like a microphone, you know what I mean? Oh, man.
Noxion.
Right. If I can't go for the board, I'm actually going to go for a bit of a curveball, and I'm going to go for Joe Gelhardt. In terms of what you guys were talking about, in terms of expectation and where we thought he would kick on at this, the end of last season, and what he did for us, in terms of, he was phenomenal off his impact. What has he done this year? And people might say he's not had enough minutes and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, this team is begging for a striker, begging for a support striker to Rodrigo who can score goals. That should have been him. And to be honest, he's found himself down the pecking order, in my opinion, that Sonny Perkins and Mateo Joseph, shortly enough, are going to overtake him if he's not careful. Look at how Sam Greenwood's progressed. And I think he's much more valuable to this squad right now than Joe Gelhardt is. And you'd have thought that would be absolutely mental to say come the kind of Wolves game last year, where Joe Gelhardt was star boy and everyone was like, this is the second coming of Rooney.
Yeah.
Like it's I think in terms of the expectation that was set and the kind of dramatic fall, Gelhardt really has kind of flattered to deceive. And there's different reasons for that. But in terms of just, the expectation, I think Joe Gelhardt's a bit of a curveball.
Yeah, I think it's a great shout, mate. And like you said, there are reasons behind it, but I do think we all expected him to kick on. I remember doing a Premier League show at the start of the season, and I had him down as one to watch because I thought he would really, really kick on. And it hasn't proved to be the case, which is disappointing. What's that? Sorry, mate.
Not being one to watch, but he's ended up one that's been sat watching.
Yeah. But I think that says it all. A lot of people might say that he's not had enough games, but at the end of the day, you earn that right. There's obviously something he's not doing on the training ground. If you're good enough, you play. It doesn't matter how old you are. And look at Somerville, look at Gnonto. Automatically, Gnonto's come in, made more impact than Gelhardt's done this season. He's been here for about a month.
Yeah.
He's been here for a month. So,
Danny. Gelhardt's I think he's got 1 or 2 assists.
Bamford.
Yeah, but even still, it's not been. I get
his assist was just bad.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. An assist could be just, it comes off his shin and it goes to the player. Like that's where Joe was talking about statistics. It's not everything. And from what I've seen of Gelhardt, he kind of just looks like he's a bit like Bamford at times. Like he's battling. Like every time he's trying to it's like he's exerting like 150% of his energy. In something that should take no energy at all. He just seems quite cumbersome, I think. But
to be fair, look, I know. I've even been quite critical of him this year as well because of what we thought. But you have to be honest as well. Everyone develops at their own rate. Look at Jesse Lingard, who developed a lot later on in his career. And young players, man, you're gonna be going through peaks and troughs of form. That's the way of life. That's the way of football. Not everyone's gonna burst through and completely smash it every single game. And because nowadays we watch so much more football than we used to. Before, back 10, 15, 20 years ago, there was so much less of it able to watch. So you couldn't evaluate people as much. Now, he has one bad game. Everyone's on his back. Everyone's saying, Gelhardt's a thing of the past or something. Whether he will get back to his form of last year or not, I don't know. But the ability that he did show at times, that flick on that Lewis got that beautiful angle of against Brighton where he gets in the box, flicks it over his man. Just the ability to do something like that.
I think that's why I
still
picked him
hope
there.
he can regather
I think that is why I picked him. I think similar to your rhetoric. It's not that I'm saying that Gelhardt.
Oh yeah, no. I don't have a
Yeah,
No.
It's like
Absolutely. I
if
don't have a problem with your pick.
if Messi goes from his his average to then just being awful, like that expectations obviously drop massively. He could still be better than most people, but because it's Messi, obviously the standards are completely different. So
Yeah, no, I put him as
I'm
standout breakout player of the year, so I 100% see what you're saying.
Yeah. I remember the show, mate. I remember the show. I in disappointment. I'm trying to. Well, I think I've seen a lot in the chat say Harrison. I'm not sure I quite agree with that because he does have streaks and he was fantastic at the start of the season. So I don't want to be too harsh on Jack. Sinistera. I mean, we've not seen enough of, but when we have, he's done really well. So I could argue maybe, but I can't really put him in as disappointing. I think what we'll do is just go with the 4 that he's sitting
on the edge of the fence. Got splinters up your crack, son. Give us a name.
Okay.
You've been sold short here because we've taken all of the more obvious ones.
Yeah.
But I want to hear something.
got to be Firpo, surely.
Don't you dare.
It's not a disappointment.
We haven't seen him.
Exactly.
Rocker.
He's a constant disappointment. That's why.
Yeah. Shall I go, Jesse?
For sure.
No, I don't think there is anyone I could.
Cooper, Koch,
Not
Lorente,
Cooper,
Stroik.
No, there is no one, is there, really?
Well, look, let's be honest.
I'll go Jack Harrison then. I'll go Jack Harrison just because it's been such a drastic drop-off from the earlier parts of the season. But again, that's not really one. But we'll put your 4 in the poll, I think, if everyone's cool with that. But just on the player of the season, Adams won the vote with 68%. Rodrigo came second with 12%. Aronson with 11% and Strauch with 9%. I'll quickly start the other poll for the 4 disappointments of the season. Noxon, you get to start this time. We're going breakout star, mate.
Somerville's got to be just the way he's just exploded onto the scene is unbelievable, and I think everyone saw him as an under 21s player, a decent player, someone that can he's probably too good for that level, but the way he stepped up and almost grabbed the games by the scruff of the neck in these last few is just unbelievable. Every time he gets the ball, he's a threat. Yeah. Every time he's so direct. I love the fact that he just wants to run at someone, beat someone, take someone on. And I think that's really good in this system as well. I think, the speed in which he plays is creating chaos for opponents. I think the last few teams have been terrified of him. The way he's so direct and runs at people. So yeah, got to be Somerville with his 4 goals in 4 games. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Let's go to. I'm trying to mix it up here. Should we go to JT, then to Leeds Lobby, then back to me? I think that's what we'll do.
You're sending me short. I haven't thought about this one. Ooh. All right. What was breakout star of the season?
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't have to be a youngster. It can be someone that maybe you didn't expect to have performances from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. But who have I not expected that performed well? I expected big things from a lot of these players. I tell you, who have I not expected things from? They've all lived up to exactly what. What breakout star of the season? I mean, I agree. Finally, you're speaking my language, mate. He was the breakout star of the season. But I mean, really and truly, who is there that Somerville, I expected, but he is the breakout star. Nonto, I'm gonna have to give it to my boy Willie G. I did expect it, but what I can say is when we first signed him, I didn't expect it. When we first signed him, I think I was with a lot of people. We were quite reluctant. We were quite like, yeah, come on, man. It's not a Gakpo. It's not a Calamawendo. It's not one of these strikers that we actually wanted and that we were linked with for a lot of the window. But looking at him now, oh my God, mate. Maybe we dodged a bullet not getting Cody Gakpo and getting this guy in. That's all I'm saying, man. So I'm going to have to go for Willie G, mate. Composed, wisdom above his age, light years above his age. and one of the most sensational left foots and juicy quads I've ever seen, man. Those quads are wow. You could make a novel about that, a graphic novel.
Almost got legs like Jackie Grealish, man. His legs are just different.
Well, he's a calf merchant, and Nonto's a quad merchant.
Yeah,
that's
put them together, mate. You've got a superhero.
Oh, mate, put them together, and you have got my wet dreams. Now,
Leeds lobby breakout star.
Well, I know some of us got it anyway. Yes. My personal breakout star has been Sean McGurk. I think he's been absolutely brilliant.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
I think my breakout star probably
Amazing.
the only other person you can say is Rodrigo. Not going on from a youngster, but in terms of a redemption story and how he's come on since Mark came in, all I need to say really, breakthrough season for him. He's on track to have his highest scoring season in his career, better than Bamford's season. Yeah, I just think that's.
I would sell him.
I think this is his breakout season. Yeah. Click's a good one as
well. No.
Things have started to click for him recently.
That's a great shout, though, Dan. Lee, thoughts?
I think obviously Sam Greenwood. I think he's shown what he can. He's shown what he can do with a set piece.
Yeah.
Got nobody that can take a set piece.
Let alone two.
Yeah, and we you talked. I know you were talking, Joe, because I heard you when Jesse Marsh just after his press conference was talking about focusing on set pieces. You were like, "What's he on about, man? I don't want that." You know. Point of the matter is, so much of the Premier League is about set pieces. So many goals are, and so many chances and opportunities are scored from set pieces. And Jesse Marsh is all about creating opportunities and taking every opportunity, and we just don't do that with our corners or our free kicks.
Yeah.
We're all
Terrible.
the ray of light. Sam Greenwood seems to be really good at him.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I've left myself last again. What have I done there? Breakout star. You think I'd have thought of these before I went on, didn't I? Right, breakout.
I ain't gonna get left really.
I'm having a breakout as we speak.
I think I'm gonna have to go out.
I couldn't agree more, mate. Couldn't agree more. You cut off right as you said you were about to. I think I'm gonna have to go.
He's a good one. He's a good player.
Shall I change my answer then?
Adam Forshaw's what I said.
Barry, telling me to hurry up. Do one, mate. It's my show. Take as long as I need.
Whoa, point.
When do we get Stuart Dallas back?
I don't know. He'll be a breakout when he comes back for sure.
Oh yeah. Break me out.
Let's go Strouk, man. I want to go on the same thinking as what Dan did when he mentioned Rodrigo. I think to be honest, I can't believe as how well Strouk's done against opposition like a Kulusevski, against opposition like a Mo Salah. You know, he's not been up against mugs. He's been up against elite players, and he has a few times been found wanting. But the majority of the time, he's done really well. You know, he's done really well. Even Saka, I know Saka scores, but he did well in that game up until the point Rodrigo passed Saka the ball. You know what I mean? So I think that I will go Pascal. For the purpose of the poll, Leeds lobby, who's you pick, Rodrigo or Greenwood?
Rodrigo.
Cool. On the last poll, then, disappointment of the season, Bamford got 54%. Llorente 24%, Rasmus 15%, and then Joffy just 6%, which I'm surprised.
Shout out to you, 15%.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised at Rasmus one.
Because they know ball. You know, we got a good relationship going on. Gave them a couple of checks, a couple of brown envelopes.
Right, FIFA man. You said Blatter, man. Said Blatter.
Damn right. That Bladder, actually.
Yeah, let's talk about the best result then. Let's talk about the best result. Noxon, you haven't been first yet, have you, bud?
I think I was first last time. I think.
Leeds lobby, my bad. Leeds lobby, there you go. Go on then, Lee. See as you fuming.
Chelsea, Chelsea. I know the Liverpool game was away, but Chelsea. I mean, the fact that how I felt at the end of that game, I think I'd scream myself hoarse because I think that we played the whole game and we just dominated in every area. I came away from that game thinking, crikey, we're going to win the league. I didn't really, but
hold on, that was after that game that you said we were going to finish 7th.
Yeah, you know what? I came away from that game genuinely thinking we could finish 7th or 8th here. We could improve on the Premier League. I think everybody did, though, to be fair. I don't think I was the only person saying that because we were just so dominant in that game. So dominant. So, yeah, for me, that was great, especially because I met with a Chelsea fan a week later and just were able to completely broke his nose in it.
Who was that?
That was I don't know, was it? There you go.
Would you agree with that, Dan?
It's either that or Liverpool, innit? I feel like Liverpool's a good result just because if it was Liverpool away, then like it's fair, Liverpool away. They've been poor this season, but Liverpool don't lose at Anfield.
We're toe to toe with Liverpool. Chelsea.
The last time Liverpool lost at Anfield in front of fans was May 2018. Van Dijk never lost a home game at Anfield, so I'm going to go with Chelsea. But I think if someone
I just realised you're going to be picking draws by the time you get to the end.
Yeah,
He wins.
Well, to be fair,
Blackpool.
We've got let's be real. We've got 2
Leeds-
games to pick from here, don't we?
Yeah.
We've got 2 games to pick.
Leeds lobby have gone for Chelsea. Leeds gave us an excellent reason as to why he's gone for it, so we'll let someone else have Liverpool.
Well, I think it all comes simply down to: are you choosing best performance or best result of the season? That's the question. But there's 2 games to choose from. There's not. We're saying this as if we have a plethora of games. We've got Chelsea or we've got Blackpool, and I put Blackpool down as best performance.
Ticket on best game.
I think
Bournemouth for a comeback. Not giving up. There's lots there.
Yeah, you've got that. You've also got the
no, you don't. Look, man, we've had some good comebacks, but that compared to Liverpool and Chelsea, look, if you're going performance of the season, for me, I think it's. Okay, well, I'm saying if you're saying performance of the season, Chelsea was the best performance by far.
Chelsea
We dominated them, but you said best result of the season, so that has to be Liverpool because you don't beat Liverpool at Anfield. No one beats Liverpool at Anfield, especially since fans have been back, and not well Virgil van Disney McDonald's was back there either, but he got sent back to the land of Ronald McDonald because he's no match for Rodrigo Moreno. So that's the best result by hands down.
Nice. I'm gonna throw a curveball in there.
Oh,
just to mix it up.
Curvy.
And say Arsenal. And say Arsenal because I thought we absolutely dominated Arsenal. I think that was the most, especially in the second half, impressed I've been with us in a half of football with the amount of chances that we create. And like's been said, if maybe someone's on the end of it other than Bamford or a Bamford in 2019, we win that game. And to think now where Arsenal are, where they sit in the league table, top at Christmas, the performances have been exceptional. The only game, this is the thing, even in that Man United game when they got beat, they were by far the better side. The only team that Arsenal have really struggled against has been Leeds. And I know they've been beaten. I think Southampton got a point against them.
Forest beat them.
Yeah, Forest. Oh, in the cup though, that's the second team. In the league, they've been pretty imperious. But Leeds United really, in the second half, gave them a real torrid time. So I'll go for that one.
To play devil's advocate though, sorry, did I cut you off?
That's best result. It's if you're going on best result, you can't say Arsenal because the result we lost.
Well, that's the devil's advocate I was about to say. That's why I think you have to make a difference with distinction between performance or result, because picking up 0 points cannot be a good result.
Right. So sorry, I didn't say result or performance. Are we really being that pedantic?
Yeah,
we are.
Do we need to do another round of best performance? It's the same fucking thing.
No, it's the same.
Oh, but your best result, and we
same,
picked up
mate.
0 points, and we got humped at home
No, all right, performance then. It doesn't
by a
fucking
bang
matter.
average Arsenal team.
You just asked me that question before you said Chelsea, and I said performance on the ball.
He did.
Okay.
My God. My God. Pedantic. Right. Noxon. You're not allowed to pick a game that we've lost.
Right, we're going to go for Bournemouth based on pure emotion. Pure emotion. There's nothing better than a comeback, and I don't think anyone expected that to happen. I was very close to just turning it off and being, walking out. I was so pissed. But the way that we somehow turned that round, the resilience that we showed, just shows that there's a bit of character in this team, and that kind of sums up this team. I think based on even the last game from relegation last season to this. It showed that we've got a bit of character, and everyone loves a comeback. So bring it on.
Yeah. There you go. Jeff says, Joe, what a word, pedantic.
Yeah. Whipping out the thesaurus these days, huh?
Yeah. Someone did put here, but it's not. Someone's put here, but it doesn't show up on StreamYard because he swore. But he's put such a shit stirrer, and that's either for JT or Dan. One of them. Comment. Right, okay, we will put them 4 results or performances into the poll, but in terms of breakout star, massive 74% was, of course, Crescencio Somerville. Nonto with 15%, Strout got 7%, and Rodrigo just 4%. So let me get that next poll up. I was going to do worst result / performance. Yeah, shall we do that? Let's do that. Results.
Well, no, we have actually quite a few results to pick from in that category. So
but you could argue when I said let's do performance as well, because you might look at the collapse against Spurs, you might look at the collapse against Southampton, you might look at the fact that we didn't get anything from Arsenal when we should have. So there's loads of different reasons. So let me just clear that up for Dan and JT before we begin. Right, JT, have you been first? No, yeah, we're back round, I think, aren't we? I have been, but yeah. Are you going again? Go on then, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, fine. Well, you choose. Who wants to go first, huh?
We'll go first.
After you slammed me on the last question. With your profligate tongue. Well, okay, I shall open the proceedings today from whence we came. Would you please reiterate the question for me, good sir?
Worst result / performance.
Worst result / performance. Well, I don't think I can look any further than our last game. Extremely profligate in nature at times, and due to the subsequent collapsing of the men. I mean, how we could throw it and crumble like that is simply beyond me. It bemuses me, to be quite frankly honest, how we could turn up and show such passion, such enthralling, captivating, eye-gouging magic in the first portions of the game, and then flush it down the toilet to a absolute wench of a club like Tottenham. I mean, to say there's more plastic in the River Thames than there is at that club would be absolutely incorrect. I mean, what a side to throw it away to. Tottenham, come on, man. They don't win trophies. They don't win anything. We out-bottled the bottle jobs. You know what? Forget Just Stop Oil, but we're going to be having all kinds of human health kind of planet protesters coming over to us now for that level of bottling against Tottenham to crumble like that in 2 minutes and absolutely piss away what would have been one of our most impressive performances / results of the season. And to throw it away like that is simply disgusting. The way we folded, I mean, I can't look past it, to be honest. Folded like an A4 piece of paper and thrown into the trash.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. I think that's a great reasoning. Not good.
I don't like the way you said that there. I don't like the way you said that, to be honest. There. Yeah, fucking great reasoning. Yeah, you... All right, who's next?
Not the Leicester game, and that was atrocious.
Yeah,
it was awful. They just also the fact that Leicester's team was bang average as well. Yeah. It was just and then everything that happened as well with like Jesse Marsh during that game and not going over to the fans. It was just an absolute shit show. like throughout. It was nothing. There was nothing good about that game. We were beaten fair and square. You know, Jesse Marsh cocked up in arguing in front of the fans. Everything was wrong. It was diabolical.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's mad that he's actually managed to turn it around, because normally when a crowd goes.
I was there, Joe, and I thought that was it. I thought Jesse, you're gone here, mate. You fucked it. But fair play to him. He's managed to turn it around and almost take the kind of eye off him. But yeah, that Leicester game felt like a significant moment, and it was. The Leicester fans were taking the piss. They couldn't believe it how bad we were at times.
And they at that time as well, Leicester was so bad.
They were awful,
and they had 5 injuries going into the game.
Yeah,
the team was
key
terrible.
players. It was. I mean, to play devil's advocate, Llorente did have a good game that day. So.
Fuck off. I'm not letting you play devil's advocate.
And that's when I started thinking we were in real trouble.
Yeah,
we were so bad at the back. Really, were so bad at the back. We could have lost
Terrible.
5.
Mate, JT, Llorente had a good game because he was playing next to Firpo, and Firpo will make anyone look good.
Yeah, you're wrong there, mate. Actually, that's actually incorrect. He was playing next to Koch. You don't really count the fullback. Plus, he was playing on the other side. Firpo is a bit more higher up the pitch, so I don't really like your reasoning there, to be honest.
Same side.
he's definitely right though, JT.
he's got a moniker of a point.
Right, okay, I'll go now because I've been last twice. I think I don't want to be last again. Worst performance. I'm going to say Fulham. I'm going to say Fulham at home, which came after the Leicester game. Leicester was so bad, but and he made changes in that Leicester game, which I found wild. So I was like, it's like when top sides play a weakened side in the cup. If you then follow it up with a win, or you could argue if you look at Everton. Everton played Bournemouth in the cup, got spanked. He rested all his players. You then have to go and win that game. Everton then went at the weekend, put the first team out, and got spanked 3 or 4 by Bournemouth, and they're getting, the shirts thrown at them. And I think Jesse had a little bit of that as well. He was talking about resting Cooper because he couldn't play games, but rested him for Leicester, brought him back in for Fulham, and we were just shy. And Lee touched on set pieces. We conceded from 3 in that game, even if they were throw-ins or breakdowns of corners. That for me was Jesse's wheelhouse. So for him to then concede in 3 set pieces, I was like, "Nah, you're done here, mate." That's why again I'm surprised he's managed to turn it around, and it's props to him. But I think against Fulham, it was woeful at home as well.
That was peak, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was peak. But to play devil's advocate again, your reasoning there, I like it about the changes, and he did make a couple of changes. But that surely only backs up my one, because he didn't just make a couple of changes against Wolves. He left flipping everyone out. He threw the entire kids out, mate. It was like watching a flipping preschool game, mate.
Yeah, but they performed really well, bro.
No, they did not perform well. We lost to Wolves. That is not performing well. I'm sorry, mate. Losing to Wolves is not performing well. And however they performed, you rest your entire squad. Do you expect them to put a performance against Spurs?
No. It's the League Cup.
Our 21's nearly beaten.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but why did he rest them? What was the point of resting them? It was all for
Spurs. We had Spurs, bro.
Exactly, and we didn't win. And your point is we rested them for Fulham and we didn't beat Fulham.
Mate. Just shut up for a minute, right? Listen to
Whoa. What's the need for that for, mate? No need for that,
fella. We all said previous week we wanted to see Joseph, we wanted to see Perkins. Gave us an opportunity to see what they're going to do against Premier League opposition. What was really, really good, when I saw that lineup, I thought, brilliant. Because we're looking now at the Wolves and we're seeing almost a full Wolves lineup. So what we're actually going to get to see now is what is these under-21s that we're hoping to bring through and we're hoping to see through. We're calling for, because Bamford couldn't see Cow's ass with a banjo, we're calling for Perkins to play.
But we're not calling to throw them all in.
He gave them a platform.
It's not a league game
to go out.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You don't throw everyone in, and you don't leave no quality on the bench. The only player of quality we had on the bench was Nonto.
No, I think he's right, JT. He's right, man.
Perkins gets that trick against.
In terms of the fact that he should have changed. I don't think he should have tinkered as much as he did. But I think there's a middle ground to what you're both saying, in the fact that I think what JT's actually saying is that it's probably actually more on Jesse rather than the team. I think
That's what I'm saying. Why did he not put any quality on the bench for him? Why
but
did he not?
I do.
Won that game. If we'd have won that game, then they got an opportunity to play the next round. And then you're in a situation where you've got these players having chance to play.
No, but forget that. I don't care about them having a chance there. I care about Leeds progressing in the damn tournament.
But
Yeah.
You have got to put context on this. Jesse almost was about to lose his job. He's then won 2 massive games against Liverpool and Bournemouth. He's not going to go full strength knowing that he's got...
I didn't say full strength. No, put a couple of youth players in, but you sprinkle it in. You don't throw the whole kids in there and throw the kitchen sink in and leave no one on the bench.
No, but Lee's bang on, right? By saying, like, where everyone's going, Perkins, where are they, Joseph? They haven't had no minutes. So for them to get like a full 90 against a full strength Wolves side is massive for their potential, their growth. So that next time we need to call on them at Spurs.
They came on, didn't they?
We didn't need to call on all of them at Spurs.
No, but he called on Mateo Joseph. If he don't play against Wolves, he probably don't throw him in there.
No, my point is, if you rest them all, you have to get a result the next game. If you make such a big call to rest them all, you have to get a result.
You can't just demand a result. I think that's the
okay. But
the
did you want a cup run or not? Like you were saying earlier, this is our best chance to have a cup run, and we pissed it away by playing a bunch of kids and not supplementing it with experience. You throw kids in with experienced players so they can learn off the experienced players and they can grow. You don't put them all in at once and put no quality on the
momentum as well. Like your other argument that JT's probably saying is that you need momentum in football as well.
You do need momentum. We
positivity breeds positivity, and if you're winning and getting in a winning spirit, that is infectious throughout the team. And you could argue that there's plenty of time to kind of tinker that squad about, in 90 minutes. I do think there was probably a bit more, of a solid team that he could have brought out. I do think he should have made some changes, but I do think it was a very, very inexperienced team. But there's a middle ground.
JT against Wolves. JT, he didn't just throw crap players on against Wolves. He had Roberto Carlos.
Yeah, exactly. And his name's Senior Furpo to you. But I'm talking going forward. Going forward, we had no quality, no cutting edge. Wolves were there for the taking. They were so poor. If we had someone that could actually dribble with the ball on that pitch for a longer time,
mate. But it's no good sending. It's no good sending youth out for the sake of it, and then just saying, the match experience is invaluable to them. They need to play with experienced players.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to play with experienced players to learn.
You put Brendan Harrison on that pitch and he gets injured.
No.
He's out for 4 games. Bearing in mind it's in the league.
Yeah, but guess what? Those 4 games are the World Cup, mate.
Don't do it. You just don't do it. You're not going to
What? Because it's a cup game?
Tyler Adams on that pitch to play that game.
So you would just you don't want to win the cup. Is that what you're saying?
Bro, we're not going to win it anyway, man.
You're not going to put players that aren't expendable on that pitch to play that game when you've got Tottenham coming up. And you're just not going to do it, because if how much criticism would he have copped, assuming that Brendan Harrison was on that pitch and he's out for 3 games and he's out until after the World Cup and he's out for the World Cup. But how much?
Look at the opposite side though.
Doesn't affect him if he's out for the World Cup.
Look at the opposite side though.
What if we play a mid-table game that year and that week and he plays Harrison and he gets injured?
Just 1 sec, then. Let me do this, right? Okay, so I've got the lineup in front of me, right? Joel Robles in goal. Luke Ayling at right back, Llorente at centre back, Hjelde alongside him and Junior Firpo. That for me has experience in Joel Robles, Diego Llorente, Luke Ayling, who's your captain. Hjelde needs minutes, and your man Firpo.
No, I agree with that. At the back line,
wait, let me finish then. Let me finish. Darko JB, Matthias Click. That there is young and also old, yeah? Experience.
Yeah, but the old is also not a holding midfielder.
Bro, let me finish, bro. Let me finish. Mateo Joseph, Sonny Perkins, Jack Harrison, again, experience, 2 youngsters. Joe Gelhardt, who's played in the Premier League. What are you doing to change that, JT?
Okay, first of all, you're trying to escape it there. You've got 3 youngsters. You've got 1 guy of experience who is Harrison, who was never going to play anyway. Defensive midfield, yeah, you've got 1 man of experience, 1 man of not experience, but you've got 1 man of experience who really is more adept at playing higher up the pitch. If you're playing him holding midfield, you need someone a bit more experienced there with him. So but again, the defense is not what I have a problem with. And what you need to also read out, if you're going to read out the starting 11, which is where I have most of the problem, is the bench. Because the bench, we had Greenwood and we had Nonto. That was it.
Yeah.
No Rodrigo on the bench, no Aronson, just to feature for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or something.
Yes.
A bit of quality.
That's the main valid criticism. He didn't have enough players on the bench to be able to say, right now, we've got half an hour left. We need to go on and win this game now. Now I've learned what I need to learn. Let's bring 3 or 4 proper Premier League players on, and let's just close this game out. Because we could have done that. That's what we didn't do.
That's what I mean, man.
I think that was it. It wouldn't have been...
You wouldn't have changed that 11 though, bro. Would you?
I would have. I wouldn't have put Perkins and Joseph on at the same time. I would have started Nonto that game. I thought Nonto had only had 45 minutes against Bournemouth. He's a youngster. He needs game time just as much as the other ones. Okay, who's more important to give game time to? More game time to? Nonto or Joseph?
Yeah, but he was keeping for that Spurs game though, bro.
Okay, then put him on for 45 minutes and then take Joseph on for his place after 45 and take Perkins off after 45 and put another experienced player in there. And don't throw them all in for 80 minutes when really they were there for the taking, man, Wolves.
Yeah,
look, it depends what you want.
Shall we change your worst result / performance of the season to Wolves?
But that's not the league.
About this.
You know what? I do feel very strongly about it. I do feel very strongly about it. So you know what? Yeah, do it. But it depends. Look, I'm the someone, like I said, I'll admit, if you're one of those people where you're like, you know what, forget the cup, it's Carabao Cup, it's meaningless, all that matters is the league, then fair enough. But I'm thinking, we've only got one more game, then we've got a month break where most of our players aren't playing anyway. I want to see us win the cup. We're not going to be competing for anything in the league.
Like, you're being facetious. They're saying that we don't want to win the cup.
Okay, but we've thrown it away by not playing any experienced players. With that, if you really wanted to win it, you'd do it. No, going forward, you look at our bench, man. That is not playing.
No, bench, fair enough. I'll give you that.
And going forward, you have 3 youngsters out of the 4 position who have barely featured this year. Who would not feature in the league.
Been going, they need to start.
I don't know what you say. We've all been going. I haven't been saying that. I've been saying bring Nonto in. That's it. I'm not saying flipping throw Joseph, Perkins, all of them, just slide them in there and shoehorn them in. You've got to earn your chance to play. Like you said, you feature them with experience. You feature them gradually. But I admit I'm probably rambling on a bit and saying some points, so I'll stop.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to come to you first with the next question. I'll put these 4 in. I've got Spurs, Leicester, Fulham, Wolves. We'll move on from this subject. Is that okay, Dan? Or do you want to throw it in?
No, sound that we're in a...
Yeah, are you sure? Best performance then? I'm quite surprised, but Chelsea won with 41%. It's probably because of the rivalry and stuff.
It's because you changed it to performance over result. That's why.
Oh, shut up. Chelsea 41%, Liverpool 32%, Arsenal 16%, and just 10% was Bournemouth. So there you go. Cool.
I also had performance from result on the poll.
Yes, I know. JT's just told us that.
JT, just get the ball and get the
what?
we
should move him from there.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. Yeah. Right. I'll put in the worst performance. We're now going to leave the polls alone, and I'm just going to ask. We'll go to Leeds lobby first of all. Which position do you think is most important that we strengthen in January? You're allowed to strengthen one. Which is the one?
Left back. Because the left back position, because what it allows us to do is inadvertently strengthen in the middle as well, because the person who's currently playing left back will then play in the middle. So in actual fact, we get to strengthen 2 places rather than just one. For that reason, it's got to be a left back. If we only sign one player, we have to sign a left back who's better than Strauch at left back.
Do you worry, Leeds lobby, if Dallas was to come back, that they might come away from that and say, well, we could play Strauch, because we know what this ownership's like. They might go Strauch, they might go Dallas, they might go Firpo and say we don't need anyone. Do you worry about that?
The only thing that we have to have is a left back that is better than Strauch at left back, because the problem with Strauch is he's better than Firpo. And because of that, he's playing left back and isn't playing where he should be, which is in the centre. So if Dallas comes back and somebody can demonstrate to me that he's going to be consistently fit and better, And that's not a fair thing to say about Dallas, because Dallas was never he played with injuries, never not fit until picking this up. We don't know what we're going to get back with him. We might get the Dallas we had before, in which case, yeah. But if we can have somebody that's going to consistently perform better than Strauch has been performing, and move Strauch in the middle with Koch, I'll be a lot happier.
You know what I think?
Go on, man.
Just a little bit short for wingers.
I can't tell you. You're joking, man. You're joking, man.
Wingers are short. You're right.
Bringing Dan James in.
I think centre back's really important. I can't remember his name, but there's someone we were linked with, left-footed centre back. Reminds me of Charlie Creswell, but more experienced. He plays for Preston. Okay. He's in the Championship, but he's probably one of the best defenders in the Championship. And that's who I think, if we get a left back, that's who I think we're going to sign, because he's a hard man.
You should just get him in how to win.
Sign a centre half. That's a proper centre. Can we sign a left back? It's a proper left back that can also
without going off on rumours. I think centre back or left backs important. Strikers important, but with Vigo coming on form, you know.
If we can sign a really good left back that can also play centre half, that's brilliant. That's
What?
I would just like a special player. Smudge says still need a proven left back irrelevant of Dallas, and I think that's fair. That's fair because Dallas can cover in at right back and that as well. So there you go, Dallas. It depends. We might not get the same Dallas under Jesse. You just don't know. You just don't know. Noxon, you can go next, mate. Try position.
Bit of a different one, but I'm going to go back up for Tyler Adams.
Yeah, that was my pick.
A holding midfielder. Because I worry that if Tyler Adams is out, like he's against City, we're FC UK.
If he goes to the World Cup and gets injured for 6 months,
what are we? Who do we have in that position there?
Darko JB, who I thought was our best player against Wolves.
Don't start Wolves again, you.
Darko JB.
He was the best player, right? When you were lambasting Jesse for playing young kids.
Well, the rest didn't do anything. Nobody else on the pitch did anything but
Darko JB's a good player, but you can't expect him to play every single minute of the season, and you can't rely on him to play and be reliable. If we lose Tyler Adams, we really lack a specialist holding midfielder, and we struggle, and especially in the system. We don't have anyone who's combative. Rocker's a good midfielder. Jabby's a good midfielder. Forshaw can do a job, but none of them are combative. And I worry that against a good team with, like Spurs, they were much bigger than us. And what you found is that when he shifted the system around, Tyler Adams was left completely isolated. And to be honest, when Basuma came on and Bentancur kind of pushed on a bit, you just got overrun. We're quite a small team. We don't have someone like a Højbjerg in there that is just going to bully people. Even Tyler Adams, he puts out fires, but he doesn't bully people. And I think, we need someone, a big man in there that can just a bit of a destroyer.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. And I'd argue as well, like Rocker, I've noticed over the past few games now, defensively, he is woeful. He is woeful. And it's really
and I
hard.
think what you're finding is that because of the way we play with transitions and stuff, the fullbacks get knackered come 60, 70 minutes. The centre halves are always kind of running backwards. You saw it with Bentancur that like Adams was always kind of chasing him.
Yeah,
he was losing his man because the team's tired because the way we play is so demanding. What you need is a centre instead of bringing on a centre half or an Ailing to kind of go to a back five and completely change it. You bring on another competent CDM who can just do the exact same job and condense it in the middle. When Tyler Adams and Mark Rocker's tired. So all you do is you bring on Tyler Adams, you bring on another one, because otherwise you ruin the whole system. You've got one midfielder and you're screwed. So you need someone that can actually do that job as well, and we don't have that, and that's why we have to change the system and that's why I think we're going behind all the time.
Yeah, and
that's why we always lose it in the end.
I think it's unforgivable for me when a centre midfielder is in front of an Omniscient striker and somehow when that goal goes on the back of the net from the striker, the centre midfielder on about 10, 15 yards on him isn't even in the picture. And I'm like, what did you do there? Did you just watch him like run past you and go, I'll just wait here? And he was, not great Rocker defensively. Needs to sort that out. I'm going to go. I'm still going to go for striker. I am still going to go for striker. Not anyone to replace. It's quite interesting. I said the start of the season we needed someone to supplement Bamford. I now think we need someone to supplement Rodrigo. I don't think Rodrigo gives us enough overall. Yes, he's scoring goals, and that's all that matters from a striker's perspective. But there will be times where we need something a little bit different. Someone like Bamford, but who can find the back of the net, I would like. I just think it would add to our game, if I'm totally honest. I still think we need to go out and get that profile of striker. I know previously in the summer, look, I said Shea Adams, I said Morphy, I said these names, but that's because I had no confidence whatsoever in Rodrigo, and I just needed someone who was similar to Bamford, who may find the back of the net and share the goals. Now I know that Rodrigo's putting it in the back of the net. I'm not going to be banging that drum for these mid-level strikers. I want someone a level above. In the summer, I had no confidence in Rodrigo. That now is built up. I know he will find the back of the net. I just still think overall his
game. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, mate. Overall, his gameplay lets us down. Because even against Spurs, I remember saying he hadn't touched the ball for 20-25 minutes, and then he went and scored 2 late on. So, what can I say? JT, position.
So all those youngster forwards that featured against Wolves not good enough to play back up for Rodrigo?
No, they're not ready yet, no.
Yeah. Not ready for. Are you agreeing with me now? Not ready for the Wolves game.
I'm not.
So as you were saying, moving swiftly on.
I'm not agreeing with you.
Moving swiftly on to the position we need. I want Cody Gakpo. That's what I want, mate. Cody Gakpo, and he can feature in all kinds of positions, mate. We're talking striker, we're talking on the wing, and I know we've got an abundance of wingers, but I think you could see Harrison actually on his way out. And if we could get a Cody Gakpo. Oh, mate, then I would put that priority over any other position, just because if you're looking at a team with Sinisterra, Somerville, Gakpo, Rodrigo, and Aronson in, now that is a very, very top side.
We're not getting Gakpo, though, are we?
Well, I don't know. Jesse Marsh weaves a bit of magic. Victor Orta, a couple of cool phone calls. But if we can't, then it's gonna have to be. I think we might need a
Terrier would be nice.
Might need a right back. I'm very scared. Very scared.
Just got the League Player of the Month, hasn't he, Terrier?
Terrier, Terrier.
Well,
he's a bit of a terrier, but
on the left, he's also got a good finish on him, which is
but he's not that cut above though. And if we're talking about something we need that cut above that Gakpo. All we need a right back because
I think
they're too unattainable. They're too unattainable. These people.
Yeah,
it's true.
There's no chance they come to us.
It's true, but then I think we could be in a seriously bad position if we lose. What do you call it? If we lose Cody Drama, we could be in a seriously bad position for the future of the right back. I think he's elite, and you're seen by the club circling in for him. So we might need to go and get another right back.
I'm not buying it.
He is, mate. Dortmund and Newcastle don't come sniffing around for nobody, mate.
Christensen cost 10 mil.
People are getting hyped because of who he's being linked to. Like. That's all agent tribe. I've not seen enough from Cody Drama, me personally. But again, I was wrong on Somerville. So who am I to?
Well, just like what we were saying earlier, mate. He hasn't been given enough opportunity.
Bro. Like for me, what's he? Oh, he's been good at Cardiff. You think he could step into that Dortmund side?
Yes, absolutely. I think he goes to Dortmund. You see, he becomes the real deal, the next Jude Bellingham. But centre half is the more pressing issue.
We'll be retiring Cody Drama's number then, will we? Dan, you were wanting to say something, mate, I think, and was you? Oh, I thought you were. You must have. It might have gone. It might have gone.
Much like Leeds' hopes of defence.
If we get a forward, I think it'll be Brereton Diaz, because he's a cheap option. He's on a free, isn't he? And if
I don't want him.
If he's on him,
I've never won.
You take anyone, so don't give me that.
I'd rather have Perot from Swansea if we're going Championship.
Yeah.
Perot's good. If we're going, I think if we get hold of midfielder, it'll be Pape Gay from Marseille. Got quite a funny name, but I think if we get hold of midfielder, it'll be him. I don't know if you've seen the links to him. No. And left back, probably I can see top deal for Drama.
I don't see.
No, don't give me. We need drama.
Don't believe everything you read is what I'll say to you, Dan. Don't believe everything you read, brother.
Unless if it's written by me, then believe it. and read it.
About JT.
What you say?
Don't believe everything you hear if you're listening to JT.
I'll believe
This is
everything you
true.
hear if you're listening
It's
to
true.
JT. Believe
It's
everything
true,
you hear,
bro.
everything you read. I'm an accredited journalist
South
speaking pure
San signings.
Yeah, you're damn right. Coming back soon! Oh, South San signings! And we've got the international version coming out.
About it. Really shortly.
Woke!
Brilliant. Right, listen, we've done an hour and 40 minutes. I really enjoyed this show. Thank you, everyone that's watched this evening. Please smash a like. Make sure you check out the lads' channels as well. This is going to be your lineup moving forward on a Wednesday. Noxon, Dan, you've got Dan and Lee, of course, from LUFC. Leeds. Lobby. What you say, bro?
I'm the brains of the operation.
Yes, that's come out across the podcast that we've done, mate.
Cool, mate. If I said that next to my dad, I'd have been beaten next way to Kingdom Come, mate.
What you say? Lee's just smiling now, but he will be getting a beating after the show's gone. That's the thing. And JT, of course,
The real brains of the operation.
Yes. I don't know what we'll be doing actually during the World Cup. I want to do a show like a bit like Snog, Marry, Avoid, but like keep, sell something.
Wait,
No,
so do we get
you know
with
what I
each
mean?
other?
I'm going to give a player, and then we
Trying
can
to hit
all
on
say
me.
we're going to sell, and then I don't know what the other
Wait,
one.
we're going to be snogging players now.
Yeah.
All right, get
Keep
on there. We'll talk.
Snog, Marry, Avoid, but keep,
Bye.
sell.
No, keep sell low.
Yeah.
Hey,
There you
call
go.
me Robert Snodgrass because I'm going to be going off on everyone. That sounded really mad.
Keep,
Let's
sell,
stop
loan.
that.
I'll have to write that one down, bro. That's a good one. Thank you.
Yes, who's that member,
Um,
Smudge? What a guy, man. Speaking
yeah.
facts, love him.
Big up to Smudge.
Underestimating our younguns. The future is very bright. JT got this one right, and he's rhyming, mate. I love him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, listen, Smudge is a contributor to the channel. I'm really appreciative of everyone else's support. I'll be back tomorrow for a bit of a World Cup preview with the Premier League preview gang. So join us for that. I know there's been a lot of people asking about the World Cup in the chat, so I'll be back for that. And I'll be doing as many as the games as I can, work permitting and that. So just keep it locked. And January's just.
Wait, before we go, actually,
Go on,
quickly,
mate.
I know we're time conscious. Everyone, quickly, quick fire. Where are England finishing in the World Cup?
We'll go to the final and get beat by Argentina, I think.
Don't care.
I think we'll make it to the quarterfinal. I think we'll finish. USA will give us a game in the group.
USA
Well,
will
they're,
finish.
they're legally contracted to, mate.
I've proper stuck my neck out about USA giving us a game. So if they don't show up now, then I'm going to be mortified.
I'm manifesting.
I think the officials will
Legally
be fine if they don't.
US finish top. We'll finish third in the group. Won't qualify.
Jesus.
Won't be bothered. Southgate will get sacked, and we'll get somebody that picks players on form for a change. And England will move forward without him. Useless.
Shocking.
No,
Out earlier.
England have a really good team on paper, but the game's not played on paper; it's played on grass.
That's true. Wow.
There's the tidbits for you.
What?
All these people, honestly, I mapped it out earlier on. France are going to do poor. I think we play Denmark again. We beat Denmark. Then we might get Uruguay or something. And then we'll play Argentina and lose in the final to Messi.
Top
That's
right.
That's my point.
We're winning. Come on,
Winning. Finally, a bit of class, mate. We're going to smash them.
I think we are going to get a Brazil-Argentina semi, though, I think. And that
Easy. They can get a semi. Doesn't matter.
I think this, with the South American teams, though, like, they look good, but when they play European teams, they do struggle a bit more.
I think Senegal.
Well, the last time a South American team won the World Cup was in 2002.
Yes, four consecutive World Cups or something. They've not won.
Yeah, but Southgate's too good, mate. The only manager that comes close to him is Jesse Marsh, and unfortunately, he doesn't even come up to the level of Gareth Southgate. Tactical genius, best squad in the world. Semi-final, final penalty shootouts, and a final win. And then he retires on top as the greatest international manager of history of the game.
That's it. That's the one. Sign out.
Yes, we will leave it with that. England are winning the World Cup.